The Fibonacci Speed Resistance Fan is a tool that helps identify possible trend trajectories. It can also give us a general idea of how a trend can behave. As the name suggests, it can approximate areas of resistance to the speed of market movement. Since the fan incorporates the x-axis of time in order to project diagonal lines, it's possible for the partial element of time analysis. In the following series, we'll explore the application of Fibonacci Speed Resistance Fans on real chart examples in order to better understand how to use this tool and become familiar with its strengths and limitations. The chart examples will cover a wide range of charts from various markets and time ranges. No matter when you watch this or which charts you choose to use Fibonacci Speed Resistance Fans on, the general knowledge from this series of examples can be of use to you. The main outline of a Fib Speed Resistance Fan begins with a horizontal and vertical ray. These all have values of 0. It then extends to 1 to form a box, which will be the outline of the fan's grid. The first diagonal line or fan line is also formed. This is then repeated for the following values, which in turn form more grid lines on the horizontal and vertical axis to combine both the elements of price and time to eventually cast all the fan lines, which are in pairs because the grid is formed by a pair of horizontal and vertical values that include, of course, the familiar fib numbers such as 0.618 and 0.382, along with non-fib numbers like 0.5, 0.25, and 0.75 to mark the halfway and quarter points, which are also useful ratios more commonly found with GAN numbers. These grid lines can be turned off if you prefer, since the main focus is on the fan lines and their projections beyond the boundaries of the grid. In other words, beyond the right edge of the grid. The starting or origin point is on the left side, while the end point is on the right side. Since this is a downtrend, the fan will extend from the top left to the bottom right. And as you would expect, compressing and expanding the fan in various ways can affect how the lines are proportioned, which could be important considerations when plotting the start and end points, which will also be applicable for a fib fan based on an uptrend, which will begin from the bottom left and extend to the top right corner. In terms of settings, there isn't anything that needs to be changed unless you prefer certain colors or methods to display the numbers on the grid. The default settings on most all charting platforms are clear and straightforward to use. This example begins with an established uptrend that recently shows signs of increasing bearish sentiment, with the current formation of a downswing unable to surpass the previous high, allowing for the basic use of a downtrend line, which is actually one of the simplest and most effective ways to plot a fib speed resistance fan. The fan line based on the values of 1 ends up being a focal point and eventually a central area. A stable trend will generally stay within or close to this central gray region. Deviations below it, down into the blue or even green areas, show periods of stronger but less stable and less sustainable bearish movement within the larger downtrend which has recently begun to reverse. Such a major shift in the market will often produce a result like this, where price breaks above the central gray region, often relatively quickly, such as in this case. Nonetheless, a strong reversal will still usually encounter some form of resistance for at least a short time near the fan lines, which can vary slightly, of course, depending on which swing points in the trend you choose to base the fan on. Though in most cases, choosing the absolute highest price in the first and second swing points of the trend can be sufficient and require little to no adjustment in a stable trend. The same thing applies in the reverse for an uptrend, where forming a trend line for the start and end points of a fib fan can be based on the lowest prices at the first and second upswing points of a developing uptrend. Overall, this trend is balanced and stable at the points where it's mostly within the central gray region, and more bullish, or in some cases even overextended in the upper portions of the blue and green regions. Conversely, falling into the lower half of the fan lines can be an indication of bearish sentiment in the market. Often, these lower fan lines will identify areas where the market is more likely to get back on an incline. Using the central gray region as a border between bullish and bearish sentiment is less plausible when a fan becomes more horizontal, usually when it goes below 45 degrees. So definitely keep in mind how shallow or steep your fib fan is, and like with any other tool or indicator, accuracy and usefulness can be reduced over time, especially since in this case the fib fan can have reduced precision as the fan lines literally spread apart. In cases where a long-established trend continues to make valid contact on the trajectory of the fan lines, it may still be possible to gauge changes in sentiment based on whether the trend is in the upper or lower half of the fan. Though this will be, of course, much less precise as the fan lines continue to spread out more drastically. Since this trend was quite stable overall, staying near the center line, the shift towards more neutral to bearish sentiment is still clearly displayed once there's a decisive breakdown into the lower half of the fan. To regain more precision, it might be useful in some cases to use a smaller portion of a large trend. It can be helpful when there are strong shifts in short-term sentiment when volatility increases. During the sharp drops in this relatively horizontal range, we could identify where there were higher chances of the chart getting back on an incline with at least a minor upswing point, following drops that often went down through multiple fan lines. And we can still get similar results to the larger fan we used before in terms of identifying the approximate price and time range when bearish sentiment significantly increases. First, by going under the center line and eventually going through the lower half of the fan. Unsurprisingly, even during such a strong drop, there's still clear, albeit short-term opposition near the areas where price contacts the fan lines. Forming a flatter fan based on a wide range like this is quite helpful, but the close proximity of fan lines to each other near the beginning of the fan can lead to some distortion and lost precision during some more volatile periods, such as near the peak here. So ideally, just like a normal trend line, it would be best to have a defined and moderate slope close to 45 degrees. Fortunately, the conditions are present here, and it helps more clearly identify the moderate to strong bearish sentiment during this downtrend that stays mostly within the lower half of the fan. And because of the great conditions the fib fan is based off here, the fan line projections were quite accurate in identifying the approximate slope of the downtrend continuation. As usual, even with such great conditions, precision and the usefulness of the fan will diminish over time as the lines spread further apart. As we've seen before, the benefits of using a fib fan based on a trend line close to 45 degrees is that little to no adjustment is required. We could simply just use the first two downswing points and leave the fan the way it is, since there was no major break into the upper half of the fan. Again, we can use a smaller portion of the larger trend to get more recent context and precision. However, in this case, adjustments are required due to the more extreme contrasting features of a steep drop followed by a prolonged horizontal range, as opposed to price following the more preferred trajectory closer to 45 degrees to allow for the fan to be used as a balanced gauge. Similar to before, the fan lines help identify when the chart can get back on an incline, and the areas that are over the center line more clearly present a stage of moderate to strong bullish sentiment. Whereas a break into the lower half signifies a drop onto a much shallower incline, and the approximate trajectories of possible shallower inclines are represented quite well with the fan lines in the lower half of this fib fan. Aside from basing a fib speed resistance fan on a normal trend line, it's possible to use the lowest and highest point of a trend or portion of a trend. Like the first method we looked at, the resulting projections of fib fan lines can be used to help identify possible new trend lines to use when there are changes in the existing trajectory. However, unlike the first method we used where the fib fan is based on a normal trend line, using the center line as a gauge of bearish or bullish sentiment is less feasible. Though where the second method becomes more useful than a traditional fib fan based on a trend line is in some cases where there's a steep trajectory, or when a stable trend line near 45 degrees is not present. It can sometimes be a more preferred option during periods of sharper volatility, and of course, like the first method, the fan will lose precision and usefulness over time. In fact, probably faster in most cases, especially when there are those sharp contrasting features of a near vertical drop and a prolonged horizontal range, such as in this case. When deciding on where to place a fib fan, there's not always one exact answer. For example, in this case, we use the steepest portion near the end of a downtrend. And similar to crossing the center line of the first method, the transition to stronger neutral to bullish sentiment is marked with a crossing over the final upper fan line. Then a similar result is achieved using the first method where the fib fan is based on a normal trend line. Next, the following uptrend shows a less common case where price continues to make regular contact within the boundaries of the fan lines above and below the center line, even though this is a much longer time frame with the fan lines being spread far apart and increased volatility has appeared. Shifting the endpoint to a more recent swing, low produces similar results where some of the major bearish continuations still take place around the middle portion of the fan. And since the start point is based on a major swing point, it's not uncommon to see a major support and resistance area identified by the horizontal line formed by the boundary of the fan. During the same approximate time period, let's try a fib fan based on a swing low and swing high. Two variations of this produce similar results, where a major break of the lowest fan lines marks the area of a major bearish continuation that's further into the development of the trend, rather than the first major bearish continuation that was identified with the method where the center line is also a normal trend line. On the way down, there are plenty of options for plotting a new fan, but they are all generally less useful due to the environment of sharp movements and period of congestion. A simple way to incorporate a small element of time analysis with the fib fan is to combine it with identified support and resistance areas. And theoretically, more significant events will take place around the intersection of fan lines and the levels that define this area of support and resistance. Of course, major breakouts and reversals aren't always guaranteed to happen at these intersections, and the results can vary depending on which points the fib fan is based on. Identifying horizontal levels of support and resistance is often done with other tools such as the popular fib retracement. As you can see, this method can be hit or miss and is not intended to be a primary form of time or price analysis. Even when an intersection is close to a significant event, it won't be spot on, though it can be close to the general area in price and time. At the beginning of our example, the downtrend is quite stable before the steep acceleration. These conditions are quite ideal to start a new fib fan with good results so far. Unsurprisingly, even a major retracement is resisted upon contact near the center fan line, which is a key moment in steering back towards a neutral to bearish stance. Then, with increased activity around this major lower boundary, we can see another example of similarities and differences of results based on intersections formed by the various options of fan lines and support and resistance levels. Since applying a fib fan on a large trend results in a wide spread over time, it will be beneficial to reposition, especially after the trend significantly flattened, but still continue to lower the fill of the gap and the most recent bearish continuation, which provide great points for a new fib fan in more recent and relevant context. In addition to price moving up through the second half of the fan, further confirmation from an indicator like accumulation distribution can help identify a more significant bullish shift in the market. Now, with a more developed uptrend, we can apply a new fan in a bullish context. The very first points that can be referenced are a bit too steep, but we can still identify the shift towards more neutral to bearish movement when dropping into the lower half of the fan. With these more recent developments, we can adjust to a shallower angle, and that works out quite well as bullish sentiment returns. Though there's much more spread now given the longer duration that's covered. So once again, there's the option to base the fib fan on more recent events. With a normal steep breakout from a long-term reversal range, there will often be a few, or in this case, no points to reference within the developing uptrend until clear retracements emerge. Using points from earlier in the reversal range can be useful to an extent, especially the ones from just before the breakout began. Though now there are these more appropriate options to identify new trajectories the uptrend can move into. For even more relevant trend lines derived from the fan lines, we can position the fan up here where after the first clear retracement, the chart shifted towards a more stable and shallower angle, which is naturally not captured that well when basing the 2 points of a fib fan on an upswing and downswing. Rather than just all upswing points like a normal trend line, fib fans and channels are quite similar in that they can be used to project trend lines. In most cases, there's a lot of overlap, and both tools can be used without one necessarily being better than the other, though a channel can be more limited in terms of being applicable to less situations compared to the fib fan, since it requires 3 points and a more defined channel structure, whereas a fib fan just requires 2 points and can be drawn from many different swing points. When we have both the fan and channel, there are slight variations and plenty of overlap in terms of their coverage and intersection with this main reversal area. Now, with this new uptrend retracing and continuing higher, there's a demonstration of how a fib fan is more versatile and can be applied right from the start, whereas a fib channel is more limited in terms of needing more clear channel structures to develop in order to get more suitable placement as the trend develops further. In any case, the end result with both these tools has an intersection with the upswing point at this key range during the uptrend's continued development. This example begins with a moderate retracement before advancing higher, and when there is finally a more significant reversal, the fib retracement can simply be dragged up to these new highs. The wider space between the retracement levels better marks these key structures. A fib fan can be placed right at the start of this new downtrend, where attention is focused around intersections with the fib retracement levels, and especially that lower range we marked earlier. Now that the chart is firmly staying over the lower 70s, the fib fan can be adjusted to get more coverage as we return back to previous highs. But that results in the fan lines coming too close together, and we don't get any coverage once the chart moves beyond previous highs. So it makes more sense to try fib fan positions that are on an incline rather than a decline. We can try multiple variations and look for areas where there are overlaps with the intersections from the various fan positions. These variations can also include a shorter range for the fib retracement and fan. The great thing about a fib fan is it can be applied at some of the earliest stages of this current uptrend. And to complement it, the same can be said about a fib time zone. While the intersections between these two fib tools are theoretically more important, attention should still be paid to the individual fan lines since movement can still closely follow them. At this intersection, there's strong support against the drop. However, this only marks a pause in the middle of a strong continuation. Soon after, when there's a proper bullish reversal, movement is confined to a neat structure almost like a channel. Unsurprisingly, there's a strong bearish reversal again here, as there's contact with another intersection right in line with previous highs. That's why it's also quite normal to just see a minor pause on this fan line before another large drop. Again, more clear reversal candle patterns instantly upon contact with these fan lines. And for more confluence in the broader context, it turns out resistance is persisting at this range. When there are more significant bearish developments, it's time to place a fib retracement that can be enhanced by a fib fan based on the same price range. Indeed, there's stronger support here at the intersection, but it's only temporary from clear candle patterns within their double top pattern. Upon contact with the next intersection, there is longer lasting support with more bullish candle developments, which realistically takes some more time rather than just an instant sharp reversal. Taking a look back, this recent rebound isn't too surprising given the significance of this range in the past. As expected, breaking to new highs, and there's at least a minor retracement with resistance closely approximating the fan line. And almost right on time, there's a rebound at this key area, which just so happens to be the site of another intersection. As the chart generally follows the incline of the fan lines, these extension levels can help in a similar way as the retracement levels now that newer highs are being reached. And since the chart is holding steady over 1975, there's the expected neutral to bullish movement before surging higher. And because there's no contact with these intersections, they don't become relevant. So realistically, it's possible for reversals not to take place at every intersection. And major reversals such as this one can take place at a single extension level without contacting any fan lines. Here's a good example of a significant reversal taking place not instantly but over time, and starting at the approximate area of an intersection rather than the exact center. And it's a similar thing here for the upswing with the drop starting to end upon contact with the intersection. See, the Fibonacci fan isn't that difficult. Now try using it on some charts of your choice. For more on Fibonacci methods, as well as indicators, follow Ascencore. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.